The ground shook as drilling machines bit deeper into Earth's crust. Director Ta wiped sweat from his brow, checking the scanner readings again. This expedition was their last hope. Seoul Resource Corporation was nearly bankrupt after 3 failed mining attempts. "Sir, we've hit something strange," said Engineer Minji through the comm. "Not matching any known mineral composition." Ta frowned. "Pull back. I'm coming down." 20 minutes later, Ta stood before a massive wall of metal unlike anything he'd ever seen. It wasn't steel, titanium, or any alloy on record. The surface was perfectly smooth despite being buried for who knows how long. "Scan it again," he ordered. Jin, the team's geologist, shook his head. "The readings don't make sense. This material isn't on the periodic table." "That's impossible. So is finding a perfect metal wall half a kilometer underground." Todd pressed his hand against the surface. It was cool to the touch. "We need to break through. Get the plasma cutter." Hours later, they created an opening large enough to slip through. Beyond was darkness so complete it seemed to swallow their flashlight beams. "Director, maybe we should wait for backup," suggested Minji. "The company won't survive another week without results," Tai replied, stepping through the opening. His boot touched smooth floor, and instantly, lights began activating in sequence. The team gasped as an enormous chamber revealed itself, filled with technology far beyond anything humans had created before Earth's ecological collapse. "This can't be right," whispered Jin. "This looks advanced." From before the fall. At the chamber's center stood a circular platform surrounded by pillars. As they approached, screens flickered to life, displaying symbols none of them recognized. "Don't touch anything," warned Tai. But it was too late. Minji had already placed her hand on a console. A deep hum filled the chamber as power surged through ancient systems. A computerized voice echoed around them. "DNA analysis confirmed. Human presence detected. Protocol 7 initiating. Guardian reactivation sequence commencing." The platform in the center glowed blue. Light gathered, condensing into a humanoid shape. The figure appeared almost solid yet somehow incorporeal, a man-shaped collection of light and energy. "I am the Guardian system," it announced, its voice carrying no accent or emotion. "Purpose, preservation of Earth and human civilization. Current status assessment required." The mining team stood frozen in shock. "Preservation," stammered Jin. "Where were you when the world died?" The Guardian tilted its head, blue light flickering as if processing. Query logged. System timestamp indicates 9,742 years have passed since last activation. Request status update on Earth civilization. Ta stepped forward. "Earth civilization. There's barely anything left. The ecosystem collapsed. Most humans died. The few million survivors live in domes or left for Mars." Calculating implications, the Guardian responded. "Accessing dormant satellite network." Screens around the chamber displayed satellite views powering on around Earth, satellites no one knew existed. "This is impossible," Minji whispered. "Those systems couldn't survive thousands of years." "Self-repairing nanotechnology," the Guardian explained. "Designed to maintain readiness for reactivation." Tai studied the being. "What exactly are you?" "I am humanity's fail-safe, created by the world's greatest minds when they foresaw potential extinction. I was placed in dormancy to awaken should civilization fall and humans return to my chamber." "So you're some kind of AI?" Jin asked. "I contain every scientific advancement, cultural artifact, and genetic sequence from peak human civilization. I was designed to restore Earth and guide humanity's rebirth." The Guardian paused, its light dimming slightly. "But my sensors indicate alien vessels in orbit. Multiple non-human civilizations have emerged during my dormancy." The team exchanged confused glances. "Aliens. We've never encountered advanced alien life." "They have encountered you," the Guardian replied. and they are now aware of my reactivation. Screens showed energy readings spiking all over the solar system as ancient defense systems activated. In orbit, 7 unmarked ships suddenly changed course, moving away from Earth at maximum speed. Warning protocols triggered, the Guardian announced. Defensive systems online. Planetary shielding initiated. From deep beneath the oceans, mountains, and ice caps, long-dormant machines hummed to life. Earth's abandoned defense grid activated fully for the first time in millennia. "What's happening?" asked Ta. "The galaxy is learning that Earth's guardian has awakened," the figure of light explained, "and many will fear what that means." Admiral Hyun stood on the command deck of the Hegemony flagship, his eyes fixed on the blue-green planet displayed on the main screen. He had never expected to stand here, looking at Earth, a world most believed was just a myth. "Report," he said, his voice steadied despite his unease. Commander Du approached with a data tablet. "The energy spike is unlike anything in our records. It started 48 hours ago and hasn't diminished." Hyun studied the readings. "And we're certain it's coming from Earth." "Yes, Admiral. The signature matches exactly with historical records from before the silence." Du hesitated before adding, "Before the Guardian disappeared." The mention of the Guardian sent a chill through the command deck. For centuries, parents had frightened children with tales of the Guardian of Earth, a being of immense power that could bend reality itself. Most educated people dismissed such stories as superstition. "Sir," called out the communications officer, "the Council demands an immediate update." Hyun straightened his uniform. "Patch them through." The holographic projector activated, displaying the 12 members of the Hegemony Council. Their faces showed varying degrees of concern and fear. Supreme Leader Jun spoke first. "Admiral, is it true? Has the Guardian returned?" "We can't confirm that," Hyun replied carefully. "But something powerful has activated on Earth. The energy readings are unprecedented." Representative Song leaned forward. "We must establish diplomatic contact immediately. If the legends hold any truth." "The legends are children's stories," interrupted Military Commander Kwan. "What matters is that something powerful has awakened on a dead world. We must neutralize this threat before it grows." Heated debate erupted among the council members. Hyun watched silently. The Galactic Hegemony had ruled unchallenged for nearly 500 years. They weren't accustomed to feeling afraid. "Enough." Leader Jun's voice cut through the arguments. "Admiral Hyun, you will take a diplomatic team to Earth. Assess the situation. If the threat is real, your battle group is authorized to take necessary action." The transmission ended. Hyun turned to his officers. "Prepare a diplomatic shuttle and move our fleet into position behind Jupiter's moon. I want us ready for anything." As the officers carried out his orders, Hyun retreated to his private quarters. He activated his secure terminal and accessed the restricted historical archives. The file he sought was ancient, dating back to the early days of the Hegemony. The screen displayed a classified report titled, "The Earth Incident, First Contact and Subsequent Quarantine." Hyun read with growing dread. The report described how the first Hegemony explorers had discovered Earth 8 centuries ago. Finding it ecologically damaged but recovering, they had attempted to establish a mining colony. Something had activated in response. The Guardian. 3 Hegemony battleships were destroyed in seconds when they refused to withdraw. The report ended with a standing order. Earth was to be monitored from a distance, but never approached. An order his fleet was now violating. A soft chime interrupted his reading. "Enter," he called. His science officer, Mina, stepped inside. "Admiral, I've been analyzing the old records. I found something disturbing." She placed another data tablet before him. "These are genetic samples from 5 Hegemony species, including our own." "What about them?" "They show signs of advanced engineering, modifications too precise to be natural evolution." Hyun stared at her. "What are you suggesting?" "According to the oldest records, humans were masters of genetic manipulation. They created new species, improved existing ones. She met his eyes. I believe some of the hegemony races, including us, might be human creations. The implication hung in the air. If true, it would shatter the foundation of hegemony propaganda, that they were the natural rulers of the galaxy. Keep this to yourself, Hyun ordered. Continue your research, but quietly. After she left, Hyun returned to the command deck. The diplomatic shuttle was ready. Any response to our communication attempts? He asked. Nothing direct, replied the communications officer. But we're picking up automated warnings in an ancient language. The translation reads, Earth is under Guardian protection. Approach with peaceful intent or not at all. Hyun watched as the diplomatic shuttle departed for Earth. On the main screen, the planet seemed to shimmer with energy that their sensors couldn't properly analyze. What are we really facing, sir? Commander Du asked quietly. Something that terrified our ancestors enough to quarantine an entire solar system, Hyun replied. And now we've awakened it. In orbit around Earth, ancient defense satellites tracked the approaching shuttle, weapon systems humming with power that had lain dormant for millennia. The galaxy held its breath. Hyun checked the atmospheric readings again, frowning at the numbers on the small screen. The Mars colony Olympus had stood for 7 generations, housing the last 5,000 humans who had fled Earth during the final collapse. Their lives were hard but stable, mining the red planet's resources to maintain their sealed habitats. Something wrong with the sensors? Asked Hana, noticing his concern. Maybe, Jae-hun replied. They're showing atmospheric pressure changes outside, like something big is moving out there. Suddenly, every screen in the command center lit up with the same message. This is Guardian Protocol 7. Human presence detected on Mars. Requesting status report. The room fell silent. No one had contacted Mars colony in living memory. What is Guardian Protocol 7? Asked Colony Director CO, pushing through the gathered technicians. Before anyone could answer, the main communication screen activated by itself. A figure made of shifting blue light appeared. Mars Colony Olympus, the figure said. I am the Guardian of Earth. I have awakened after 10,000 years of dormancy. Please respond. Director CO approached the screen cautiously. This is Director CO of Mars Colony Olympus. We know of no Guardian. Who are you really? The light figure seemed to study them. I was created by your ancestors to preserve Earth's legacy. My archives indicate a human colony was established on Mars during the final migration. Are you their descendants? Yes, CO answered carefully. Our ancestors left Earth when the ecosystems failed. That failure was not natural, the Guardian stated. My awakening has revealed evidence of deliberate interference. The environmental collapse was engineered by alien forces. Murmurs spread through the command center. They had always believed Earth died from human excess. Alien forces? CO asked. We've never encountered intelligent alien life. They have encountered you, the Guardian replied. A fleet orbits Earth now. They call themselves the Hegemony. Meanwhile, aboard the Hegemony diplomatic shuttle, Ambassador Kim prepared for first contact. The small craft approached Earth cautiously, broadcasting peace messages on all frequencies. No response, reported the pilot. But those defense platforms are tracking us. Ambassador Kim nodded tensely. Maintain course. We must establish dialogue. The shuttle entered Earth's upper atmosphere when a beam of light struck it. Instead of causing damage, the light enveloped the craft. Everyone inside froze as a voice filled their minds. Your kind poisoned this world once before, the Guardian's voice stated. You will not do so again. Images flooded their consciousness. Historical records showing hegemony ships secretly releasing engineered toxins into Earth's atmosphere centuries ago, accelerating its ecological death. When the light faded, the shuttle was back in orbit, its systems temporarily disabled. Ambassador Kim gasped for breath. We need to warn the Admiral. The Guardian knows what we did. Back on the Hegemony flagship, Admiral Hyun received distressing news. "Sir," Commander Du reported, 3 scout ships attempted to approach Earth's southern hemisphere while the diplomatic shuttle was making contact. "I didn't authorize that," Hyun snapped. "Orders came directly from Military Commander Kwan. The scouts were attempting to deploy monitoring devices." Du paused. "They've been disabled, sir, not destroyed. Their power systems simply shut down. They're drifting." Before Hyun could respond, Supreme Leader Jun appeared on the command screen. His face was tight with anger. "The Council has reviewed Ambassador Kim's report," he announced. "The diplomatic approach has failed. The Guardian has accessed our historical records and knows about Operation Cleansing Tide." Hyun felt cold. That classified operation, the deliberate poisoning of Earth to prevent human expansion, was the hegemony's darkest secret. "We cannot allow this information to spread," Jun continued. "Your fleet is ordered to implement Protocol Silence. The Earth must be neutralized permanently." "Sir," Hyun objected, "we're talking about destroying an entire planet. The Guardian has shown restraint so far. It disabled our ships but didn't destroy them." "That's an order, Admiral," Jun replied coldly. "The foundation of the hegemony is at stake." As the transmission ended, Commander Du approached. "We've intercepted communications between Earth and Mars. The Guardian is revealing everything to the human colony." On Mars, Guy Hun stared at the screen in horror as the Guardian showed them the truth. "They killed our world. Deliberately." "Yes," the Guardian replied. "And now they prepare to attack again. My defensive capabilities are substantial but not unlimited. I need your help." "Our help?" Director Seo asked. "What can we possibly do against a galactic power?" "Mars was not abandoned by your ancestors," the Guardian explained. "It was prepared. The ground beneath Mars colony Olympus began to rumble as ancient machinery, buried deep beneath the Martian surface, awakened from its long slumber." In Earth orbit, Admiral Hyun watched as his battle fleet moved into position. He had given the attack order, but something felt deeply wrong. The Guardian was watching too, preparing for a conflict that would change the galaxy forever. The hegemony fleet spread across Earth's orbit, a perfect attack formation. 200 warships, armed with planet-killer weapons, waited for Admiral Hyun's final command. "All ships in position," reported Commander Du. "Planetary bombardment ready on your order." Hyun stared at the blue-green world below. After centuries of recovery, Earth was showing signs of life again. Forests had regrown. Oceans were clearing. It seemed wrong to destroy it all. "Sir," Du prompted, "Supreme Leader Jun is demanding status updates." "Begin the attack," Hyun ordered quietly. Across the fleet, weapons powered up. But before they could fire, a message echoed through every ship simultaneously. "You misunderstand my purpose," the Guardian's voice stated calmly. "I was not created for destruction." On the main view screen, the Guardian appeared, a figure of blue light, observing them without fear. "I offer you one chance to withdraw," it continued. "Earth is under my protection, but I have no desire for conflict." Supreme Leader Jun's face appeared on a second screen. "Fire now." "That's an order." The first wave of ships launched their weapons. Brilliant beams of energy streaked toward Earth's atmosphere. None reached their target. Midway between the fleet and Earth, a sphere of distorted space appeared. The energy weapons curved around it, some shooting harmlessly into deep space, others circling back toward the fleet. Evasive maneuvers. Hyun shouted as his own ship's weapons turned against them. 3 hegemony cruisers exploded before the fleet could react. "What's happening?" Jun demanded. On Earth, Director Tai and his mining team watched from the Guardian's underground chamber as the battle unfolded on massive screens. "What did you do?" Tai asked, watching the hegemony ships scrambling in confusion. "I altered the gravitational constants in a localized area," the Guardian explained. "Their weapons followed the curved space I created. You can change the laws of physics. Jin whispered in awe. In limited ways, yes. This is not my primary function, but it is within my capabilities. Above them, the hegemony fleet regrouped for a second attack. This time, thousands of fighter craft poured from the larger ships, too many for the Guardian to redirect individually. Their strategy is logical. The Guardian observed, I cannot create enough gravitational anomalies to catch them all. On Mars, Guy Hun and Director Seo stood in a newly discovered chamber deep beneath their colony. Ancient machines hummed around them as the Guardian's voice guided them. The activation sequence requires human DNA confirmation, it explained. Place your hands on the central console. They hesitated, then pressed their palms against the glowing surface. The entire chamber shuddered. Mars Defense Network activated, announced a computerized voice. Phased array ready. On hundreds of mountaintops across Mars, hidden installations emerged from the red soil, pointing skyward. Back at Earth, Admiral Hyun watched as his fighters approached the atmosphere. Victory seemed within reach when suddenly, his tactical officer shouted in alarm. Energy spike from Mars. Massive power readings. Beams of concentrated energy shot from the Martian surface, precisely targeting the hegemony fighters. Within seconds, half the attack force was destroyed. Impossible, breathed Commander Du. Mars is supposed to be defenseless. On the command screen, Science Officer Minna appeared, her expression urgent. Admiral, I've completed my analysis. You need to see this immediately. We're in the middle of a battle, Hyun snapped. This can't wait, she insisted. The genetic testing confirms it. 5 hegemony species, including our own, were created by human scientists. We're their descendants, modified to survive on different worlds. Silence fell across the command deck as the implications became clear. We're fighting our own creators, Hyun said quietly. At that moment, the Guardian's voice returned. Admiral Hyun, I wish to show you something. The main screen changed to show Earth's surface. Vast machines were emerging from underground bunkers, forests, and ocean floors. Not weapons, but terraforming devices. Rivers changed course as nanomachines purified the water. Dead soil came alive as restoration systems activated. This is my true purpose, the Guardian explained. Not destruction, but renewal. Humanity created me to heal their world if they could not. And the defenses? Hyun asked. A secondary function. I protect what I restore. Supreme Leader Jun's voice cut through the moment. Ignore this manipulation. Launch all remaining weapons. Hyun looked at the images of Earth healing, then at the confirmation that his own species had been created by humans. He made his decision. All ships, stand down, he ordered. Disengage weapons and pull back to safe distance. That's treason, Jun shouted. No, Hyun replied calmly. It's wisdom. As the hegemony fleet withdrew, the Guardian's blue form seemed to grow brighter. There is much you need to learn about your origins, it told Hyun, and much humanity must learn about what the galaxy has become. The first step toward peace had been taken, but the Guardian knew the greatest challenges still lay ahead. Sunlight streamed through the transparent dome of the new Earth Council chamber. 1 year had passed since the Guardian's awakening, and already the planet looked different. Where polluted wastelands had stretched for centuries, young forests now grew. The seas teemed with life reborn from ancient DNA banks. Director Ta stood at the window, watching ships land at the spaceport below. Representatives from 17 galactic civilizations were arriving for the historic summit. Nervous? Asked Jin, joining him at the window. Who wouldn't be? Tai replied. Yesterday we were forgotten. Today we're hosting the galaxy. The Guardian appeared beside them, its blue light form now more defined than when they first discovered it. The Mars delegation has landed. Director Seo sends her regards. 5,000 Mars colonists had returned to Earth, though many stayed behind to maintain both worlds. The ancient defense systems had been repurposed as a transportation network, allowing instant travel between the planets. What about Admiral Hyun? Jin asked. His ship will arrive last, the Guardian answered. The situation in the hegemony remains complicated. That was an understatement. After Admiral Hyun had refused to destroy Earth, the hegemony had fractured. Supreme Leader Jun and his loyalists still controlled the capital worlds, but many systems had declared independence, especially those populated by species with confirmed human origins. The central doors opened as Gai Hun entered with the scientific team from Mars. The restoration of Species Group 7 is complete, he announced proudly. The genetic material was viable. 2,000 extinct bird species have been reintroduced to the wild. Ta nodded in satisfaction. Each day, Earth became more like the vibrant world their ancestors had known. A soft chime announced another arrival. Admiral Hyun entered, accompanied by Science Officer Mina and a small security detail. Their uniforms were different now, the hegemony insignia replaced with a simple star. Welcome to Earth, Ta greeted them. Thank you for having us, Hyun replied formally. The Free Systems Alliance appreciates your willingness to meet. The Guardian led them to the council chamber where representatives from across the galaxy waited. Some looked humanoid, others entirely alien. Many watched the Guardian with obvious fear. When everyone was seated, the Guardian moved to the center of the room. Its light form expanded, filling the dome with gentle blue illumination. For too long, this galaxy has lived in the shadow of lies. It began. Today, we begin with truth. Above them, holographic images appeared. Ancient Earth in its prime, the first human ventures to other worlds, the genetic engineering that created new species adapted for different planets. Humanity did not die out, the Guardian explained. They transformed. Many of you carry human DNA, modified over generations to thrive on your homeworlds. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Some delegates appeared shocked. Others nodded as if confirming long-held suspicions. The ecological collapse of Earth was not an accident, the Guardian continued, showing images of hegemony ships releasing toxins into Earth's atmosphere centuries ago. Those who feared human innovation chose to poison their world. Admiral Hyun stood. On behalf of the free systems, I acknowledge this crime committed by our ancestors. We cannot undo the past, but we can build a different future. Representative song from the remaining hegemony worlds rose in protest. This is propaganda. Supreme Leader Jun demands these lies cease immediately. The Guardian's light dimmed slightly. Is that why the hegemony fleet is approaching Earth's orbit? For more demands. All eyes turned to the windows as the Guardian projected images of 30 hegemony warships dropping out of hyperspace beyond the moon. They come with planet killers, Hyun warned. Supreme Leader Jun would rather destroy Earth than allow the truth to spread. The chamber erupted in panic. The Guardian waited until the noise subsided. There is no need for fear, it stated calmly. Earth will not fall again. Outside, the approaching hegemony fleet suddenly stopped. Their engines flared as ships tried to reverse course, but they remained frozen in space. What's happening? Asked Director Seo. I have created a localized field where the flow of time has been reduced to near zero, the Guardian explained. They are experiencing time at 1/1,000,000th the normal rate. For them, a second has yet to pass. The chamber fell silent as the implications became clear. The Guardian's power was far greater than anyone had imagined. I was not created as a weapon, the Guardian said softly, but I will protect Earth. The choice is simple, coexistence or consequence. Admiral Hyun approached the center of the room. On behalf of the Free Systems Alliance, I propose a new beginning. Not a galaxy ruled by fear, but one united by our shared heritage. Director Ta joined him. Earth offers its knowledge, its resources, and its friendship to all who come in peace. One by one, the representatives rose to join them. Even the hegemony diplomat, Representative Song, eventually stood, though reluctance showed on his face. I will convey your message to Supreme Leader Jun, he said stiffly. As the summit continued into the night, the Guardian washed from the dome. In orbit, the hegemony fleet remained frozen in time, a reminder of power, but also of restraint. On Earth below, forests continued to grow, animals roamed freely, and for the first time in 10,000 years, the Guardian's purpose was being fulfilled, not just to preserve humanity, but to help it thrive once more among the stars. A new dawn had come for Earth, and the galaxy would never be the same.